Hi, my name is Jeff Kaufman, and I'm going to talk some about how I play chords on the mandolin. Before I start, I should just play a little bit to give you a sense of the kind of thing I do, and if this doesn't sound like something you want to be able to do, then you can stop watching now. So let's just see what that's like. So. So that's the basic idea. What I'm going to start by doing is talking about the two shapes that I use. Almost everything I was doing there was just the two low strings on the mandolin. So for example, the way I play a D chord is I just play, and these two strings are muted. Now, figuring out how to put your hand in order to play two of the strings non-muted and two of the strings muted is somewhat difficult, and it takes a while to practice. You just sort of need to play along with it. This is the only finger I'm using. This is just a one-finger thing. So I've got this finger, it's right here. It's making the two low strings sound and the two high strings muted. And it sounds like this. As I'm playing this, I also, as soon as I've hit the mandolin, I relax the pressure. And you can hear when I do that, the sustain immediately goes away. So here's what it sounds like if I hold it, and here's what it sounds like if I hold it. Still ringing, and when I eventually let go, the sound stops. And here's what it sounds like if I relax it immediately. So as I play, the main thing I'm doing is I'm hitting and immediately relaxing. So I had this one shape which I was talking about, which is D, which is, and then I can slide that up and down, and when I do, I get other chords. So if I count up 2 from D, E, D sharp, E, here's an E. And if I go down, so I was on the 7th fret when I was playing D, which means I was playing E on the 9th fret. If I go back to the 7th fret and go down 2, I get to D, and then this is C. That's not C. That's just wrong. Sorry. Here's D. Here's C. Here's B. Here's A. And so I can get to everything by sliding that around. But some of them are pretty far apart. So like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So if I want to go like A, and then D, E, D, A. The slide from A all the way up to D, or worse, A to E, is just really, that was not E, A to E, it's just really far. So what I can do instead is I can play A a different way. So here is my D. I can play A in this other shape here. And this shape is, so my D was the first and second string on the 7th fret. My A, my second finger is on the 9th fret, and then one string higher, my first finger is on the 7th fret. And it should sound like this. So I can play D, and then I can play A. And by having A over here, I can switch much faster between these shapes. So my first shape, so let's say I play an A, and then I want to play a D, and then I want to play an E, and then back to A. I barely have to move my hands at all, which lets me play much faster. So I can go. So that's shapes. So just to summarize, I have two shapes. I have my D shape, or my, I don't really know what to call this shape. It's the shape I was playing D in, but it's the shape that goes straight up and down, and then I've got my sort of more sideways shape. I should probably come up with better names for these, but whatever. So I've got this shape which I can slide around, and I have this shape. And between those two shapes, I can play all the chords I want to without really having to move my hands. So I can go, or I can go, and that was the same thing in two different keys. In later videos, I'm going to talk about things like everything else that I was doing in that example. But for now, we just have the chord shapes. The key thing is that the 2 low strings sound, and the 2 high strings are muted, and that you relax the pressure immediately after you hit, instead of letting it ring. Thank you.